How's it going, everyone? I'm Nick with Aztec Tents, and today we're out here showing you how to set up the 20x30 ATC Canopy. Alright guys, so first things first, our PPE. We've got our gloves, a hard hat, safety glasses, hearing protection, our vest, and our safety shoes. Okay, first we're going to get started with a little parts breakdown. First we've got our 20x30 ATC Canopy tent top, our drop cloth, our sledgehammer, 24-inch hook stakes. We've got our pole tops, our pole bottoms, and then our two different sized center pole intermediate pipes, and our pole bag. Now, you can identify the top part of our side poles and center poles. It's going to have a pin, and our bottom sections are going to have a cap on the bottom. And then the two different intermediate size, you're going to use one of each for each center pole. And no matter what, whether it's a side pole or a center pole, you're always going to use one top and one bottom. All right, so our first step in setting up this tent is going to be to locate where our side poles and our stakes are going to land. That's something we've already gone ahead and done. If you'd like to see how to do that, you can check out this video right here on how to square a tent. So we're going to move forward with laying out our drop cloth, and then we're going to pull our tent top onto the top of that. Okay, so we've got our tent laid out on our drop cloth. Our next step is going to be to assemble all of our poles and get them all placed around the tent where we want them to go. Alright, we've got our poles placed where they need to go. We've got all of our stakes dropped where we need to drive them. So next step is to drive our stakes, and then we'll move forward with pushing our poles. Okay, so we've got all of our stakes in the ground, and our next step is we're going to take the attached rope tensioners that are on the top, hook them onto each one of our stakes all the way around the perimeter. And then on one end of the tent, we're gonna give a little bit of tension on those ropes. That way when we go to start pushing poles on the close side of the tent here, it doesn't pull away from us, or excuse me, it doesn't pull towards us. And we'll show you a little bit more about how to use those rope tensioners as you start placing poles into the tent. So as you can see, we've got all of our perimeter poles installed. We've essentially created a bowl with our tent top. So now that that's off the ground, we're going to pull out our drop cloth, and we're going to go ahead and install our center poles. Alright, so once you've installed your center poles, you're going to notice there's a jumper rope, we call it, hanging from the top of the pole. First thing you want to do after you install your poles is to tie this jumper rope onto your center pole, and that keeps the top from jumping off of the pole just in case you get a gust of wind. So create the shape of a 4, come around the center pole, and back through your hole. Then you want to start wrapping the opposite direction. And each loop, you go above the previous. And then to finish, just pull it through your rope here, give it a little knot, and cinch it down nice and tight. And that'll keep your top from jumping off your pole. So now that we've got our center poles installed and jumper ropes tied off, it's time to move to final tensioning. So we'll find the marks that we previously put on the ground for our side poles, and then we'll tension up our rope tensioners. Alright, so that's the complete install of your 20 by 30 ATC Canopy. I hope it helps, and hope everyone enjoyed the video. If you want to see how to take it down, play the video backwards, I guess.